night. It was howling out yesterday. It's barreling in today. And here's a look at the lineup for Chris Lemonis and the Bulldogs. 15-7 overall, 1-3 to start SEC play. You see Ace Reese, he's highlighted with good reason. He hit 2 home runs, a 2-run shot and a 3-run shot in yesterday's game. He drove in 5 runs total. Reed Stallman, Bryce Chance precede him, then Noah Sullivan and Hunter Hines, who has 58 career home runs. That is tied for the active lead amongst Division I players currently. And it's the first start of the series for Gatlin Sanders. He came on as a defensive replacement and then got 1 at bat in yesterday's game, but he gets the start at second base for the Bulldogs today. You see what's at stake. Mississippi State trying for their first SEC series win. They were swept by Texas on opening weekend, and Oklahoma won 2 of 3 in their road debut at South Carolina last weekend. This will be their first ever SEC home series win. Reed Stallman, 2 of 8 this weekend with a double and a run scored. He has started all 3 games. Kind of a 4-man outfield rotation for Chris Lemonis and the Bulldogs. 0-2 the count, 96-mile-per-hour fastball. So we're asking Skip Johnson about the switch, you know, with Kyson Witherspoon Friday. Then you go with a different starter and you go with Kyson's twin Malachi on Sunday. And he said you really can't tell them apart. As the 0-2 is swung on and missed, it's an opening strikeout for Malachi Witherspoon. And he said I really can't tell them apart other than their jersey numbers, and that one's about an inch taller than the other.
Yeah, and it's a good idea to split them up. Like I said, they're kind of similar pitching styles. You know, both throw hard. And you mix Crossland in this weekend, left-hander, so you got a right-hander Friday, left-hander Saturday, and back to Malachi on Sunday.
So that strikeout there is the 23rd of the season. There's Kyson Witherspoon. What a couple of pitchers we had on Friday night. Kyson Witherspoon and Pico Khan. That was a pitcher's duel. Kyson Witherspoon went 6 2/3 innings, gave 1 earned run with 11 strikeouts, and suffered his first loss of the year. Pico Khan went 6 innings of 2-hit ball with 10 strikeouts for Mississippi State.
Yeah, both those guys were electric Friday night. I don't know if you're going to see 2 guys go up against each other like that very often, even in the SEC.
You know, they could be SEC co-pitchers of the week for those performances. Bryce Chance is 4 of 9. He's driven in 2 runs this weekend. Slow chopper, and Witherspoon will just let that one roll foul before he touches it. So the count is 1-2 on Bryce Chance. Bryce Chance, senior out of Ridgeland, Mississippi. They call him Beans. Batted a little further down in the lineup each of the first 2 games. As he was 5th in the lineup, they moved him up to 2nd. A little bit of change, as we said, with Gatlin Sanders coming into play second base today. 3rd year as a Bulldog for Chance. He was the toughest player in the SEC to strike out last season. But he's in a hole 1-2 against Malachi Witherspoon. A lot of foul balls. We had about 350 total pitches thrown yesterday. And I don't know, maybe 50 pickoff throws?
Yeah, there was a bunch. And a lot of foul balls yesterday.
we learned some things about the rules. It was, I mean, it was a cornucopia of things. .97-mile-an-hour fastball that misses low. On the ground to the shortstop, Willits. And over to first, 2 gone. One of the big differences in yesterday's game was that right there. Oklahoma 0 errors, and Mississippi State had 5.
Yeah, they struggled in the field defensively yesterday. I think all 4 infielders had an error, and maybe was there one on the right fielder maybe?
Yes, and,
So,
and even probably another one you could have charged at first base yesterday on the back part of the double play that led a run score.
Yes, the one that was dropped on the double play turn.
Here's Ace Reese, the hitting hero yesterday for the Bulldogs with his 2 home run day. But that's not unexpected for him. A lot of pop. The Houston transfer, 8 home runs, is tied for 9th in the SEC, and 32 runs driven in is 8th in the conference. And this is what Chris Lemonis and the staff expected, bringing him in from the Big 12. Hard hit ball on one hop, backhanded by Willits this time, and the inning is over. Reese hit that ball hard, but Willits had him played perfectly, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Malachi Witherspoon. Oklahoma's batting lineup comes your way, but the bottom of the Lemonis used for him was dependable, Rich, and you love having guys like this.
Yeah, very consistent. 27 strikeouts and 6 walks. He's going to be in the zone, and he's going to mix it up a little bit. A couple different curveballs. One 12-6er and one that's more of a slider.
So this is his 2nd season at Mississippi State. 15 appearances last year, but only made 2 starts. And he was a starter at Miami and is once again at Mississippi State. So this is his 6th start. His longest outing was 5 innings against Queens. Last week against Texas, he went just 3 2/3 and gave up a couple of earned runs before giving way to the bullpen. Wind blowing in, then when you broadcast games here, you almost lose sight of just what a factor the wind is at this ballpark. Rich, you played in this stadium and coached here for many years. That may be the biggest factor in this stadium.
Yeah, for sure. The wind always plays a role, and you got to change your approach. Like you're saying, we're in here and it's nice climate, no wind. You can't feel the wind, but when you step outside, you can tell the difference and see the difference in the ball flight, and especially when it's hitting the air. But on days like today, you want to try to hit hard ground balls, miss line drive instead of, if you're just trying to hit a line drive and you miss, you just miss with a lazy fly ball to the outfield.
And it is due out of the north. About 65 degrees, but with that north wind, you'll notice out there in the cloud, we got some jackets and hoodies out. Great crowds this weekend, though.
Yeah, it's been outstanding attendance.
Walk takes a strike. In fact, the attendance was over 3,500 on Friday night. Got a little late arriving crowd for this 2 o'clock Central Time start. Over 4,000 yesterday. There was the NCAA Women's Basketball Regional across the street at the Lloyd Noble Center. And about the time that game ended with the Oklahoma women beating Florida Gulf Coast, this game started over here yesterday.
Yeah, it's nice to have some spillover from the women's game yesterday, and it was a great crowd, and it's already, like you said, a good crowd here already today.
By the way, both of these schools' women's basketball teams advanced to the 2nd round. Mississippi State was a winner over Cal late yesterday evening. Jason Walk draws a walk. He has not stolen a base yet in this series. Let's see if he is on the move. Oklahoma stole 8 bases yesterday. Trey Gamble returned for the Sooners yesterday after missing 3 games with a lower leg injury. Easton Carmichael DHing again today. Jackson Willits had a home run in yesterday's ball game, and the hitting hero is Dawson Willis down there, 3 for 5 with what proved to be the game-deciding home run in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's Dawson Willis. He also stole 3 bases in that game. Trey Gamble was 2 for 5 yesterday, scored 2 runs, and he stole 2 bases. Oklahoma now leads the SEC with 58 stolen bases. Didn't steal a base on Friday night. Of course, the way that Pico Khan was pitching, it was hard to get on.
There wasn't very many base runners Friday night for either side.
And Walk, very adept in the stolen base area. He's 7 of 12 this year. I don't know how many of those caught stealings were on throws over to first that picked him off, rather than just being thrown out at second base. You wonder if at some point in the college game, which tends to mirror the big leagues, if they might go to limiting throws over, and in particular throws to second base.
Yeah, they, like you said yesterday, we saw pickoffs to second and first.
Walk is on the move. A good pitch to throw, but Walk slides in underneath the tag. Joe Powell doing the catching is the really tough to watch injury to Ross Highfield, who was hit in the head by a pitch. Let's look at Jason Walk going in once again.
Yeah, got a good jump. You know, Ligon has a pretty high leg kick, which promotes a lot of steal attempts.
So Ross Highfield, you see him over around the team, looks okay, but they're just being very precautious with him as Gamble lifts this one right to the warning track in right. Nolan Stevens has it, and Walk's going to tag and easily scoot down to third base with the potential first run.
Yeah, productive out there by Gamble, getting Walk to third base with less than 2 outs, and see if Carmichael can find a way to score him.
Indeed, here is Easton Carmichael. 4 hits in 9 official plate appearances this weekend. He has scored 3 runs, and he had an RBI double. First pitch is a strike on the outer half, and Carly has a little bit more on Easton Carmichael.
Chad, it seems like the veteran Easton Carmichael just always knows how to show up in big moments. Last night, bottom of the 7th, 2 outs with runners on the corners, and he hits an RBI single to tie it.
And here he's going to drive in the first run of the game, and that is just a workmanlike at bat for Easton Carmichael.
Yeah, it's a good at bat. I mean, that's how you run offense right there. You know, don't even score a run without getting a hit. Get a walk, stolen base, sac fly, and just a ground ball in the middle to score a walk from third.
So walks, steals second, goes to third on a fly ball by Gamble, scores on the ground out by Carmichael. 1-0 Oklahoma. And here's Jackson Willits, who is 3 out of 8 this weekend. Hit a 2-run home run on Saturday. He's driven in 4 runs so far in the 2 games, batting .326, and 7 home runs, leads the Sooners this year. Full-time out of that kind of stretch mini windup, if you will, for Carson Ligon. Makes it 2-2, and now here's the shift. You can see right there, passing at the bottom part of that camera shot, Ace Reese, the third baseman, who shifts over in between the first baseman Hines and the second baseman Sanders. And there's ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning.
Yeah, pretty good at bat there by Willits. You know, took a couple close pitches for balls. See if Taki can do something with 2 outs.
Jackson Willits can't run and is a threat at all times. He's 5 for 5 in stolen bases this season. Dayton Taki 1 for 8 this weekend. This fly ball will slide foul toward the Oklahoma bullpen. Dayton Taki has drawn good reviews for his defensive prowess over at first base.
Yeah, he's pretty good over there. He makes it look, he's had some picks from bad throws and makes it look easy.
You can appreciate a good first baseman, can't you?
Sure. Yeah, there's nothing. You got a good guy over there that's really good. You just got to get it close, and you'll know that they'll catch it.
Ligon is 1-1, and Taki hits another one foul and out of play. Taki coming from the Fort Worth area, Weatherford High School, and then Weatherford College there, just to the west of Fort Worth. Dad Dwayne played baseball at Tarleton State. Late jump there. Willits kind of a delayed steal.
Oh, wow.
He swipes it. There's nobody at third on the shift, and Willits is all the way to third base. What a base running maneuver by Jackson Willits. I don't think I've ever seen that, Rich.
No, I haven't. It was a good delay steal. They ran a delay steal yesterday also. That's just heads up base running, knowing that the shift was on. There's nobody over there at third base.
So 2 stolen bases there for Jackson Willits.
On 1 pitch.
On 1 pitch. The 2-2 misses down and in. Oklahoma so disruptive on the base paths. Yesterday, you know, we talked so much about Dawson Willis. You see Oklahoma now 61 stolen bases and already 3 in this first inning. But down on strikes goes Taki. Liggins says you can run all the way to third base if you want. You're not coming home. As he limits the damage after giving up 2 walks, but a run across for the Sooners, and 1-0 Oklahoma on top, headed to the top of the second on of this 3-game series. 1-0 Oklahoma, and Malachi Witherspoon back out to the mound to face the middle third of the order for Mississippi State here. Sullivan, Hines, and Stevens. Witherspoon got a couple of ground outs and a strikeout. Faced the minimum in the first. No, Sullivan is 4 out of 8 this weekend. Just a real good professional hitter. .419 average.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. You know, he had a bat yesterday. He fouled off 4 or 5 pitches before reaching base.
To the right side, ranging over goes Branch, and he'll deliver it over to Taki for the first out.
Now back to the Bulldogs, first baseman number 44, Hunter Hines.
4 up and 4 down for Malachi Witherspoon, and he will deal with Hunter Hines, who hit his 58th career home run yesterday. 4 for 9 on the weekend. 58 career home runs, moving him into 3rd all-time in Mississippi State history. And he is tied atop the charts amongst active Division I players career-wise with those 58. You see the Bulldogs career leaders, Clark and Palmero. Oh, 2 now. Chris Lemonis said, you know, Hines has struggled. You know, there's perhaps a bit of pressure when you got all these records and people talking about it. And then you struggle, and that compounds it almost.
Yeah, you just got to be able to push forward. And he's done a pretty good job of that. And he's going to get his. He's got good power. He just needs to keep pushing and get good pitches to hit.
Count stays 1-2. Monitoring the other games around the SEC. Already one final, in fact. Kentucky has defeated Auburn 6-0. But Auburn has taken that series 2-1. That's the 3rd series that's complete already this weekend around the league. Swing and a miss. The 2nd strikeout for Malachi Witherspoon.
Now back to the Bulldogs, right fielder number 56, Nolan Stevens.
Skip Johnson was talking about Kyson versus Malachi, and he said they look similar. Obviously, they're twins, but he said the stuff is really not the same. Their repertoire, the way they go about things. What do you see when you see these 2 guys out there, Rich, as a hitter?
I mean, they both throw hard. They got they're the same in that respect. The breaking balls are a little bit different. I think Malachi's got a little more of a loop to his off-speed pitches as compared to the slider for Kyson. But man, these guys both can throw.
But they are workers and competitors, both of them. 1-1 the count here to Stevens with the bases empty and 2 down. Nolan Stevens 1 for 5 this weekend. He has started 2 of the 3 games. He's out in right field today. One and 2 now. Just a fastball.
Yeah, just 96 on that, on the outer third. That's tough to catch up with.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Butler trying to frame that one up. Oklahoma with the shift on here, and this one is rocketed toward left and played on a hop by Trey Gamble. So Stevens going to the opposite field for his 2nd hit of this series and the first for the Bulldogs this afternoon.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there. He let that ball travel, get deep, and just drove it into left field.
So that'll get Gatlin Sanders to the plate. This is his first start of the weekend. He did come on and hit in Saturday's game. Really came on as a defensive replacement late in that game and wound up getting a plate appearance, but making his first start today. Bulldogs have just tried to lock down the defensive element at second base. Had 4 or 5 guys play second this year. And Sanders is out for a start today.
Yeah, it's been a revolving door out there at second base for the Bulldogs. They're just hoping somebody can lock down that position.
Two and 0 the count here on Sanders as Witherspoon deals with some base traffic for the first time in this game. Doesn't really alter his setup. Couple of steps towards second base by the base runner Nolan Stevens, and then Sanders fouls the pitch off. No home runs. He's driven in 5. 11th start of the year for Gatlin Sanders. We had several reviews in yesterday's game that were overturned on the bases.
Yeah, more than usual. Especially the one at second base with Branch stealing. You know, the ball beat him, but you could see on the replay that the glove stayed between his arms the whole time, and he touched the base, and then the shortstop Cup ended up tagging him basically on his chest.
There goes the runner. The pitch is pulled through the hole out into right field. Stevens is going to make third base. And Gatlin Sanders has a 2-out hit.
Talkie's asking for something here.
He is. What did we have on this play?
I don't know. That is maybe a foul ball off the hitter.
You saw Talkie signal that immediately. And now the plate umpire, Eric Gaucher, is talking to the Oklahoma dugout. Skip Johnson is out for an ask. But to no avail.
See, I think might have hit his top of his foot.
And I'll tell you this, the reaction of Gatlin Sanders would tell you that it hit his foot. But he'll take the base hit. Runners at first and third now. Here's Joe Powell. So the tying run is at third here for the Bulldogs. Powell has to jump back out of the way. We'll get another look at that swing. Oh,
yeah. You can see his shoelaces move right there.
That's a foul ball, and you wonder why that's not reviewable. 1-0 is swung on and missed, so 1-1.
Good eyes by Taki. I don't know how he saw that from over there. I mean, especially holding the runner on.
Well, I think he probably saw the reaction of Sanders, wondering, why isn't this guy running toward me?
Yeah.
1-2 the count on Powell. Second consecutive start for Powell after we mentioned Ross Highfill was hit by a pitch in Friday's game. Swing and a miss, so it won't matter. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Malachi Witherspoon, who has 3 in the game. So the Bulldogs put 2 men aboard, but they are left stranded. And Oklahoma comes to the plate with a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the second inning behind the right-hander Malachi Witherspoon, who's got 3 strikeouts. Carson Ligon back out for his second inning of work, due to face Kyle Branch, Sam Christensen, and Scott Mudler. Oklahoma with a run despite not having a base hit in the first inning. Here's Kyle Branch, 1 out of 8 on the weekend. Stolen 3 bases. And batting .342 on the year. Home run, 17 runs driven in. And he actually scored what was the winning run yesterday, because he was on board in a tie ball game when Willis launched a 2-run home run to left field. Oklahoma winning 13-11. What a wild game. 2 balls, 2 strikes here, but Oklahoma led that game 7-0.
Yeah, they got out early, and then all of a sudden Bulldogs came back, and it was back and forth.
Yeah, the Bulldogs, they actually took an 11-10 lead before Oklahoma scored the final 3 runs. And there's strike 3 called on a breaking pitch. So that's 2 consecutive strikeouts for Ligon. He got Taki on a strikeout to close the first.
Yeah, that's a good pitch on the outer half. It's tough. It's tough to take. You know, I used to always tell my hitters, don't leave it in the hands of the umpire. You know, if it's close, you know, try to foul it off or do something with it. But that's a good pitch.
Sam Christensen shows bunt, takes 1. 2 hits in this weekend series for Sam Christensen. He's driven in a run. Sam Christensen transferred in from South Mountain Community College. Excellent eye for the strike zone. He has 24 walks on the year, which is tied for 3rd in the SEC. And now the shift is on with a 1-2 count. There's ball 2. Ace Reese, the third baseman, has shifted around in between first and second. Basically playing shallow right field, like Rover. That's a thing in
it's the Rover
beer league softball. Swing and a miss. So that's 3 straight strikeouts for Carson Ligon. He gets Branch and Christensen on strikeouts here, and fanned Dayton Taki to close the first.
And just another good breaking ball. And it's got a tight spin.
Here is Scott Mudler. Mudler catching for the 2nd straight day. So Ligon has missed with 3 straight. After 3 straight strikeouts, he's already walked 2. So kind of hit or miss so far for Carson Ligon. And 3-1 now to the Oklahoma catcher. Fastball at 94 miles an hour. Hit high and fairly deep down the right field line, but it'll twist foul and out of play. Had it stayed fair, catchable for the right fielder Nolan Stevens. And there is ball 4. Very close pitch to Mudler.
Mudler stood there for a while just to make sure he called it a ball.
Should I go to first base now? Yes. Here's Dawson Willis. Two-run home run yesterday that was the winner for the Sooners. He's driven in 3 runs in the series, 3 for 8 at the plate. And he also stole 3 bases. He really impacts the game when he gets on base.
Yeah, he's got good speed. He's a tall guy, you know, long gait, but he can run. We've seen him beat out a couple infield hits.
There goes Mudler. The pitch is up and in, and the throw off target into center field, and Mudler is shaken up. He has not gotten up after his headfirst slide at second base.
He just landed wrong. Might be his shoulder.
Yeah, he's kind of favoring, it looks like maybe the right shoulder, Rich.
Yeah, I think he landed on that right shoulder first. Maybe he popped it out of joint or something.
And there's Skip Johnson coming out to check on Scott Mudler. Got him to his feet. It's Melissa Hampton, the Oklahoma trainer, out there assisting him.
Yeah, right there. It's hard. Right, separated that shoulder a little bit.
And head first dives can be risky business. Were you a head first guy or feet first?
Just depend on the situation. Usually try to read the fielder and you can see which way he's going, or if I knew I was going to be safe, I'd go feet first. But you find it kind of simple, but when I was in spring training with the Padres, we used to have sliding practice all the time. Yeah.
So that's Malachi Witherspoon, the Sooner pitcher, who is headed out. And now he's jogged back over. He was ready to go. And they say, whoa, hold on a minute.
Gavin Jones.
And Gavin Jones, one of the other Sooner pitchers, will jog out there. So now we'll see what this does for the lineup.
They're going to have to burn the DH if they bring Carmichael behind the plate.
And you would think that's what they will have to do here, though. So make the adjustment to your lineup card. And Oklahoma will lose the DH. But the Sooners do have a runner in scoring position at second base. Willis was kind of sitting on one there.
Yeah, it's that good breaking ball again from Ligon.
2 balls, 2 strikes here to Dawson Willis. Skip Johnson was talking about Dawson Willis's journey and struggled early at the plate. And he said he finally just had to get over that fear of failure and start competing. And it's benefited him. He's now got a confidence about him. It'll stay 2-2 on Willis. Definite step up in competition going from NCAA Division II LSU Eunice to the SEC.
Yeah, and hitting's that way, you know. You got to go pitch to pitch. You can't worry about the last pitch or last at bat or the next one. You got to stay in the present and be ready to go.
Hit hard to left field in front of Stallman. Jones is around third. The throw will be cut off, and Willis slides in safely at second, having driven in the second Sooner run of this game. Dawson Willis continues to produce. A 2-out single to left makes it 2-0 Oklahoma.
Yeah, good piece of hitting again. Willis looked like another breaking ball, went down and got it. Drove it into, see it right there, that breaking ball bell high, hangs up there, and he puts a good swing on it, drives it into left field for an RBI. And you see that speed, him getting to second on that throw in.
And they throw in behind Willis with the shortstop Dylan Cupp taking the throw as Jason Walk steps in for the Sooners. 4 runs driven in this weekend now for Dawson Willis. Jason Walk walked, stole a base, and scored a run his first time up. Pushes a bunt toward third, and Reese will let it bound foul. Oklahoma getting a run without a base hit in the first inning. And in fact, the RBI single by Willis is the Sooners' first hit of this game. Ligon once again throws out. He's walked 1 for 7 this weekend. He homered in back-to-back games. Sunday in the series finale 1 week ago today at South Carolina, he hit what was the game-winning home run in the top of the 10th inning. The Sooners won 2 of 3 at South Carolina. 1-2 now the count. Oklahoma is 9-1 this season in games decided by 2 runs or less. And the 1-run loss they had to the Bulldogs on Friday was their first in a 1-run game. They were 7-0 in 1-run games.
And that's a sign of a good team. Guys that can win the close games. You know, you just have something about your back end of your bullpen as well.
There goes Willis toward third. The throw by Powell right on target, and he is out. So Joe Powell guns down Dawson Willis to close the inning. Jason Walk will be at the plate for the Sooners in the 3rd inning, but a good throw there by Joe Powell finishes things. Oklahoma gets a run on a hit. Nobody left. The Sooners have a 2-0 lead. We move to the 3rd. That's the DH, but he will have to come in and catch after the injury to Scott Mugler. We'll see who bats in the number 8 position when that rolls around again for the Sooners. But Gavin Jones came in to run for Mudler after he went down, and he came in to score the 2nd run in that bottom of the 2nd inning. 9-1-2 in the lineup. The scheduled hitters for the Bulldogs here: Dylan Cupp, Reed Stallman, and Bryce Chance to face Malachi Witherspoon. Gave up back-to-back singles in the 2nd, but got a strikeout to finish it. And he's got 3 strikeouts through his first 2 innings. Leadoff hit by pitch for Cupp.
That ball just got away from Malachi.
That is the 4th batter he has hit with a pitch this year.
Left fielder number 7, Reed Stallman.
Ooh. Yep, right in the back. Just let it go too early.
And so back to the top of the order now for the Bulldogs. This is a big opportunity for Mississippi State, Rich. It kind of feels like they need a little shot of energy.
Yeah, try to gain a little momentum here. Maybe string together a couple of hits. With the leadoff walk, that's what you're looking for to get your inning going.
Reed Stallman struck out looking to start the game. He's 2 for 9 this weekend with a double. Now we've got a little bit of sunshine. You can see it glistening off the turf. Yeah. Welcome, Mr. Sunshine.
Yeah, it looks like the wind's died down a little bit too.
You're right. What is going on? Welcome to Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you said early on, it's 3 different days in the ballparks playing 3 different ways.
A lot of these SEC ballparks impacted by wind, smaller ballparks. This one is 410 to the alleys in left center and right center. And we saw Ace Reese hit one way out of here yesterday. Wind helped it a little bit, but it was going to leave one way or the other. Right back to Witherspoon. He'll throw out and get the force play with Willits, but little trouble coming up with it at second base, so only the force play at second. And the Bulldogs are telling Dylan Cupp to stay put. They may want to have a look at this one, see if that throw.
Mississippi State is challenging the out call at second base.
That throw pulled Willits off the base or not.
That is our second base umpire, Brandon Cooper, who is the crew chief. Once again, the centralized replay in the SEC. We'll take one more look.
Ooh, that's pretty close. Looks like he might have been off. Yeah.
I think that's an out.
I don't know if his heel's touching or not. When he catches it, is it?
Wow, the Hawkeye review system is fantastic. They're showing the down the line view on the in-house video board.
Yeah, that was a one hopper back to Malachi. He just kind of just laid it out there instead of letting it go.
When it left the bat, you thought it was a double play, didn't
right,
you?
Yeah, right off the bat. That's routine.
There's what they have shown here in the stadium.
If you can't see the ball there.
After review, the runner at second base is safe. Mississippi State has 2 challenges remaining.
So Dylan Cupp stays put. And the Sooners have committed their first error of this game. Runners safe at first and second. And an opportunity here for the Bulldogs.
See if they try to sacrifice bunt here.
Bryce Chance. They charge the error to the pitcher, Malachi Witherspoon, pulling Willits off the bag at second. And the pitch is up and in to Bryce Chance. Chance grounded out to Jackson Willits, the shortstop, his first time. He is 4 for 10 with 2 runs driven in this weekend. And now 2-0. Skip Johnson takes time here to come out and visit with Malachi Witherspoon. Kind of a reset, refocus situation.
Just, in this situation, you just need to throw a strike and let him bunt it. Take the out wherever you can get it.
The 8th-year Sooner head coach, national runner-up in 2022. Sooners winning the Big 12 on their way out the door last season. They've won 40-plus games 2 of the last 3 years. under Skip Johnson. Said this is what baseball is about, what has happened the last couple of days with a one-run game, pitchers duel one day, slugfest the next, and who knows what you get in game 3.
Right.
Bunted toward third. 2-1 the count.
Yeah, in this situation, if you're Bryce Chance, you're just trying to bunt it and make the third baseman feel the ball. That way he vacates third and allows the base runners to move up.
Just got to give himself up to try to get the tying run into scoring position. This one will stay fair. Witherspoon's only play is to fire to first with the throw taken by the second baseman Branch for the first out. And so Kupp is down to third, and Stallman is the potential tying run at second base.
He threw a fastball down there to Taki.
And you just never know. Pitcher, you cut that ball a little bit on the throw over, and then the merry-go-round starts.
I've seen it several times. The PFP plays and pitchers throwing balls down the line all over the place.
Here's Ace Reese, who hit a hard ground ball to the shortstop Willits his first time today, and homered twice yesterday. This is kind of how you draw him up right here, isn't it? 6'3", about 205 pounds, a third baseman who swings from the left side with power.
Yeah, he, like I said, he hit that second home run he hit yesterday was a bomb.
One and one the count here on Reese. Reese was from Dallas, and Chris Lemonis was telling us might be the best scrimmage player that he's ever seen. I could see that. He can put some impressive swings on. Two balls and a strike. There's the national championship winning head coach back in 2021, Chris Lemonis, 7th season as head coach of the Bulldogs. Lived in Starkville as a newborn. His dad Thomas was a Mississippi State graduate. There's a base hit by Reese. In to score comes Kupp. Rounding third and scoring is Sullivan. A little bit of trouble in right field by Sam Christensen gathering that one up. And Ace Reese has tied this game as he drills a base hit into right field. It's 2 apiece.
Yeah, and he hit that ball hard. See, this pitch right here is just middle in. I mean, perfect for left-handers. They like that ball in and down and in, and he just turns on it, drives it into right field.
We'll see if they charge an error out there on Christensen. The run would have scored anyway, but allowing Reese to go to second base. I don't know that he would have gotten there otherwise. Doesn't matter at this point. It's a 2-2 ball game. Here's Noah Sullivan. Sullivan grounded out to Kyle Branch, the Sooner second baseman, his first time. They will rule it a double for Ace Reese, driving in a pair. Eighth double of the year for Reese. He's driven in 34 runs now. This one is well hit to center field, but the wind is going to beat this one down. And it's caught in fairly medium shallow left center by Walk. And that got up into the teeth of the wind. He did get under it a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, you see that ball just kind of stopped and hung up there.
Yeah, you were talking about it. It's almost like it goes up a ramp, almost up an elevator shaft.
When it's coming down, it's almost straight down.
And here's Hunter Hines with the go-ahead run in Reese at second base, and 2 gone here in the third. Hines struck out back in the second. Hines 4 out of 10 this weekend with the home run yesterday. Doubled on Friday night. And 1-2. So Wyatt Hensler hit one for Texas A&M yesterday. He now has the Division I solo lead. Chase Laviolette, 2 Aggies amongst the top 3 in active Division I home runs. And Hunter Hines sandwiched between the two. Count will stay at 1-2. It's so simple. And Chris Lemonis talking about this with such a good player who's had good home run totals. Just focus on base hits.
Yeah,
you know, Rich, I'm sure you can relate.
Yeah, and it's hard to do when you have power like that. You know, you just got to try to drive the ball hard on the ground
like that. Yeah. Shoots it back up the middle. Reese is around third, and the Bulldogs have taken the lead on the strength of that swing by their senior first baseman, Hunter Hines. It is 3-2 Mississippi State.
Yeah, like you're saying, just, you know, work on driving the ball, you know, low, and when you miss, that's a good breaking pitch by Malachi, and he did a good job staying on it. So he just serve it out there.
So the Bulldogs have taken the lead in this rubber game, 3-2.
And here we go.
Yep. You didn't think it was going to be a pitcher's duel, did you, with the wind blowing in?
No, but I didn't think it'd be like it was yesterday.
It may yet be. 3 runs home on a couple of hits and an error. This one into left center field and falls played on a hop by Walk. Charging for third goes Hunter Hines, and he'll make it there sliding. Base hit by Stevens, who's 2 for 2 in this game. And the Bulldogs have runners at the corners now with 2 down.
Malachi struggling a little bit to get this last out of this inning. See if he can find a way to get out of here, get out of this inning, control the damage.
Three hits, 3 runs, a Sooner error that has cracked the door open. And here is Gatlin Sanders, who singled his first time up. The Bulldogs got back-to-back singles by Stevens and Sanders, but left him stranded in the second inning. Just a little bit outside there.
Yeah, remember that error would have been was a double play, a routine double play ball. He might have been out of this inning if this play catch.
Low and in. Sooners committed an error in the first inning back on Friday night that was costly as well in a 1-run game. 2-0 is fouled past the berm. Only the top of the third. Malachi Witherspoon, 53 pitches. Foul ball off the foot of the batter Sanders, and kind of the Bronx cheer there from the fans. It was Gatlin Sanders the first time, as a matter of fact, who hit what on replay was a foul ball off his foot, but it was ruled fair and he got a base hit out of it. Here in Norman, letting Eric Gaucher hear it. And he's going to give Gatlin Sanders a moment to kind of collect himself after that foul ball off his foot. And a full count now. The walk loads him up.
And Stevens will be off on the pitch.
Had 24 runs and 31 hits in yesterday's game. Not saying we're headed that direction here today, but the offense has certainly come to play for the Bulldogs. There goes Stevens from first, and a foul ball by Sanders. So you look at the other SEC series that are wrapping up today. Already a couple of them that are finished. The sweep by Vanderbilt and Texas A&M this weekend after their win yesterday. Tennessee taking 2 of 3 from Alabama. We mentioned Auburn takes 2 of 3 from Kentucky. Those series are already done. This is the rubber game between these two teams. Mississippi State has LSU on the road in Baton Rouge next week. That's a Thursday start. And Oklahoma heads to Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama. The series opens up on Friday. Payoff pitch for Gatlin Sanders. Ball 4 loads the bases. Malachi Witherspoon kind of looking down at his throwing hand, battling a little bit of a blister. This could make it awfully challenging. Skip Johnson dealing here with this bases loaded 2-out situation. The 9th batter of the inning will be the catcher, Joe Powell. And some activity, some stretching starts out of the Sooner bullpen. A hit batsman, a walk, 3 hits, and an error.
That's that momentum you were talking about at the beginning of this inning. You turn that double play, you stop that momentum.
As Michael Catalano stretching out of the Oklahoma bullpen as Powell waves through that pitch. Well, the Bulldogs left 2 men aboard in the second. Here they have the bases loaded and a chance to open up some breathing room as Catalano prepares to potentially enter this game. A couple of sweepers there that Powell hasn't had much of a good swing on.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable with that pitch at all. He's kind of waved at that last one.
A ball and 2 strikes now to the Mississippi State catcher, Joe Powell. We mentioned he spent a couple of years playing in Cincinnati, then stepped away to be a firefighter. And Mississippi State called, said, would you like an opportunity? And now he's in his 2nd year as a Bulldog. And he strikes out here. 2nd time he has fanned in this game. Malachi Witherspoon able to finish it, but not before the Bulldogs post 3 runs on 3 hits in the inning to take the lead. Bases left loaded on the strikeout, but the Bulldogs now lead by 1. See, taking their series this weekend, but even they lost 2 straight. They lost their midweek game and then lost their opening game this weekend. Hines over to play this one. Underhanded flip to Ligon for the first out as Walk is retired to start the Sooner 3rd. And this league can beat you down. Better be a confident soul to go about things. The other series that are going on, you got Ole Miss with a 2-0 series lead on Missouri. LSU and Texas split their 2 games with the Longhorns winning yesterday 11-7. And then the finale already complete with Kentucky Kentucky 6-0 over Auburn today, but the Tigers take 2 out of 3 in that weekend series. Little conference here. Reggie Willits talking with Trey Gamble before he stands in. Easton Carmichael getting in on the visit as well. There's Reggie Willits coming back to orchestrate offense at his alma mater. The plays run through him. Chaos is what they call it. Putting pressure on opposing defenses. And Trey Gamble has been a big part of that for this Oklahoma team. They missed him when he was out for 3 games. 9 stolen bases, .582 on base percentage for Trey Gamble. That's 8th best in the SEC. He flied to the right fielder Nolan Stevens his first time today, but 2 hits for him yesterday. This one smacked foul toward the Oklahoma bullpen. Trey Gamble, one of those just steady, consistent guys.
Yeah.
Not flashy, Rich.
No, yeah, he reminds me a lot of Bryce Madron,
who could just wear out the baseball. As Gamble flies this one to left, Reed Stallman ventures over near the foul line, and 2 down. Good go of it, really, so far for Ligon. He had the 2 walks in the first inning that produced the Sooner run, but Oklahoma just 1 hit to get 2 runs. And here's Easton Carmichael now catching. Drove in a run with an RBI ground ball that scored Jason Walk in the first inning. Easton's driven in 2 runs in this weekend series. If you're the Bulldogs, this is how you would prefer to face him, with 2 outs and the bases empty. "24 runs driven in now. That leads this Sooner team. Nearly got him. Three and 1 now to Easton Carmichael. A catcher that hits and runs well. Kind of what the big league scouts are looking for. And he had a very good summer with the Wood Bats in the Cape Cod League. This offseason was the MVP of the All-Star game, batted about .300. Keeps the at-bat alive with that foul ball. Might have gotten a piece of Powell. It's the difference like when you, well, guys, you mess around with wood bats a little bit, Rich, but when you have to use them consistently, what's the change?
It's
like?
just that it's not really the change. It's just the sweet spot is so much smaller on a wood bat than it is these metal and composite bats. But you still, but in the Cape, you're facing top of the line pitchers.
This one bounds past the mound. Ligon couldn't reach it. Sanders will, and he throws out Carmichael. 1, 2, 3 go the Sooners. And so Carson Ligon delivers after his offense got him the lead, the shutdown inning, as they say. Through 3, it's 3-2 Bulldogs on top in the rubber game at L. Dale Mitchell Park. On top, the winner takes this 3-game series after the Bulldogs won Friday in a pitcher's duel. And the Sooners outslugged the Bulldogs yesterday to win 13-11. Dylan Cupp will lead things off. 9-1-2 in the order for Mississippi State here in the 4th. Malachi Witherspoon set to go. Dylan Cupp was hit by pitch and scored a run in the 3rd. He led off the inning with that hit by pitch. scored on the 2-run double by Ace Reese, who has now driven in 7 runs in this series. Left center field. Room out there, though, for Trey Gamble. Wynn going to get all over that one. You see just about every outfielder. You go back, and then you have to come in, and settle under it.
Yeah, especially the left and center. Like yesterday, they put that ball right there off the wall, or maybe a home run.
Yep. Back to the top of the order for Reed Stallman, who bats for the 3rd time today. He's 0 for 2, but reached on an error and scored a run in the 3rd. He hit that comebacker to Witherspoon. Witherspoon with the man aboard through to second, and it pulled Jackson Willits off the bag. And as you said, Rich, that kind of led to the Sooners' undoing in that 3rd inning.
Yeah, it would have been 2 outs, nobody on. Instead, it was 1st and 2nd, nobody out.
One and one the count to Reed Stallman. Sawyer Reeves not in the starting lineup today for the Bulldogs. He's 5 of 8 this weekend. Would bet that we see him at some point. As Witherspoon hits the outside edge with that one. Reed Stallman is a transfer from Campbell University. Hit 15 home runs there last season. 5 home runs this year as a Bulldog. Count will stay at 1 and 2. Fastball that's up and away. There's a little activity in the Oklahoma bullpen. The freshman left-hander out there, Jaden Barfield, has been loosening kind of in between innings, and so we have seen both Michael Catalano and Jaden Barfield stretch and loosen up out in the pen for the Sooners. Three balls and 2 strikes now. There's Barfield. That one barehanded by the on-deck batter, Bryce Chance. Will toss it out of play. Reed Stallman, 2 runs scored this weekend. There's Bryce Chance. Into the shift and caught. Kyle Branch lunging into the outfield grass to take a base hit away from Reed Stallman.
Yeah, nice play by Branch there. Got a good read off the bat. Able to half dive and stab that ball.
It's a case where the shift works. If he's in his regular spot, that's a base hit.
Yeah, that's a base hit easy.
And here is Bryce Chance. He has grounded out and laid down a sacrifice. Big high leg kick and a ground ball to Willits. And Malachi Witherspoon works a 1-2-3 4th inning for the Sooners. It is 3-2 Mississippi State on top. Bottom of the 4th coming your way from Norman on SEC Network Plus next. There's Jackson Willits, who will lead off for the Sooners here in the bottom of the 4th inning. He walked, stole a couple of bases back in the 1st, and yesterday he did this. Mashes that home run right there. Jackson Willets 2-run home run in the bottom of the third inning. It gave Oklahoma at the time a 10-5 lead. They had led 7-0. Mississippi State came back to claim an 11-10 lead before Oklahoma won it 13-11. And here's Jackson Willets, driven in 4 runs this weekend. Been the starter from day one as a freshman a season ago for Skip Johnson and the Sooners. Of course, his dad Reggie, the offensive coach for Oklahoma, just grew up in the sport. Had some early struggles as a freshman last year, but hit 10 home runs after the month of April began. And he has just kind of picked up where he left off a season ago. There's Reggie. Got that cup of coffee going. The 2-2 foul ball. Man, they got him. Jackson Willets slowly getting to his feet. We'll get a look and see exactly where it hit him.
And he's got that shin guard on too, so I don't know if it got part of the shin guard or hit off his foot. Yeah, right off his toe.
Instep. He was watching Oklahoma series out at South Carolina last week. He had an at bat where he fouled 2 pitches off of himself and then homered.
Yeah, he didn't want to have to run hard.
Pretty good swing at that one. It'll stay 2-2. Jackson Willets top 10 in the SEC in runs scored. That'll move the count to 3-2. Oklahoma batting .302 as a team. As Willets hits a fly ball to pretty much straightaway right field for Nolan Stevens, way up in the air. 1 away.
Yeah, he just missed that one. Put a good swing on it, just got under it a little too much.
I think Carly's got an update on the injury to the Sooner catcher Scott Mudler. Carly?
Chad, just saw Scott Mudler come out of the clubhouse in a sling in street clothes, guys. Looks like it's that right shoulder, just like we were thinking.
Thank you, Carly. It was a head-first dive out at second base where he just hit the ground first and hard.
Yeah, it came down right on that shoulder.
So here is Taki. Fouled up first base way. Dayton Taki struck out swinging to end the first inning. And this one to Sanders. And 2 gone in the 4th. Crowd kind of getting on him a little bit there, but he handled it cleanly.
Yeah, after he threw the ball to first, he started running off the field like it was the 3rd out.
Not just yet.
Yeah.
There's Scott Mudler. Unfortunate injury for the Oklahoma catcher. As Kyle Branch is in, struck out looking his first time against Ligon. Ligon's allowed 1 hit. The lone hit was a single by Dawson Willis in the 2nd inning. 2 walks that have come in to score. Oklahoma got a run without a hit in the 1st inning. And I mean, Ligon is working quick, fast, and in a hurry. I mean, he's in his windup when he gets the ball back. Not worried about any pitch clock with him.
No, those are the kind of guys you like to play defense behind. They work quick. You know, they don't lull you to sleep out there.
Only thing slowing him down is the plate umpire Eric Goshi's out of baseballs. That may benefit the Sooners, the kind of rhythm that Ligon was in. But he's got a fresh allotment. There's umpires. Michael Carroll at first, Brandon Cooper at second, and Jordan Farrell down at third. Did he go around? He did. No appeal necessary. Eric Goshi says it's a strikeout. And back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for Carson Ligon, who's picking up steam for the Bulldogs. Through 4, it is Mississippi State 3, Oklahoma 2, 1-run lead. And the pitchers are sending a lot of guys to the show. This is the list of would-be Bulldogs who should make opening day rosters. We're not quite there yet. But look at that list. Hunter Renfro's had a really good big league career, and Adam Frazier as well with the Pirates. Jordan Westberg going to be teammates with some really good players. You got Cade Cavalli and others with Oklahoma, and pitchers for Skip Johnson and the Sooners, John Gray and Stephen Okert. They were on the same staff. Jake Irvin with the Nationals. But many others that could get there. You could see maybe Jimmy Crooks with the Cardinals. Saw that John Gray got hit by a batted ball, and so he's going to be out for a bit for the Rangers. But we'll get those all firmed up and solidified. Skip Johnson's so great at working with pitchers, guys like Clayton Kershaw and Homer Bailey, who he has worked with as well. And call upon those guys and their wisdom and knowledge. You can be sitting out in the bullpen and Homer Bailey might call.
Yeah. Or he might call him.
Or, yeah. We talked about these schools, though, in 2 of the last 3 years. Oklahoma 3 years ago had 11 players drafted off that national runner-up team. The 0-2 is swung on and missed here. And so Malachi Witherspoon just kind of gutting his way into the 5th inning today.
Yeah, last inning had a good 1, 2, 3 inning, and leading this inning off with a strikeout. That's the worst swing I've seen Reese take this weekend, because he's been hitting the ball hard.
Oklahoma, that draft they had with Cade Horton, who went 7th overall to the Cubs. You had Jake Bennett, Trevin Michael. And then about 5 years ago, I think it was, when Cade Cavalli was drafted by the Nationals, Levi Prater, the Cardinals, and Dane Acker by the A's. A lot of pitchers going. And then last year, Mississippi State had 11 guys drafted, most of any school in the country. Want to know the count here on Sullivan, who is 0 for 2. Sullivan has grounded to second and fly to center field, wearing that magnificent mustache. Just a ball player, very good approach. And
yeah, solid at bats.
He's also pitched in the midweek last couple of weeks for Chris Lemonis and Justin Parker. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike.
That's a good pitch. If he can keep that pitch working for strikes, he might eat up a couple more innings, I guess, depending on what happens when Butler's spot comes up.
Off the glove of Witherspoon, out to second. And an off-balance throw, not in time from Branch to get Noah Sullivan, who beats the wrap and is safe at first base.
Yeah, that's tough there. Make a good pitch, get a guy to ground out. Tipped it a little bit, slowed it down, but Branch made a good play on that. He couldn't do much more than what he did there. Catching on the run, makes a good transfer.
So the 6th base hit for the Bulldogs today, the first for Noah Sullivan. And here is Hines, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI today. He singled home the go-ahead run in the top of the 3rd. Drove in Ace Reese, who had prior to that had a 2-run double. And that's the scoring for the Bulldogs. Sooners got an RBI ground out from Carmichael in the first and an RBI single from Dawson Willis in the second for their 2 runs. 1-1 here on Hines, who's had a good weekend. Has to be encouraging. He's 5 out of 11 at the plate, a home run and a double, and 3 runs driven in the 3 games so far. Hit hard out into right field, played on a bounce by Christensen. Back-to-back singles here by Sullivan and Hines, and that's 2 hits in the game now for Hunter Hines. 7 hits for Mississippi State. And the pace of the activity in the Oklahoma bullpen picks up a little bit. 2 left-handers are throwing, Barfield and Sampson. There's Barfield.
And I think Skip already signaled down.
So it looks like it will be Bo Sampson. Barfield's going to stay put. And through the bullpen door will come Bo Sampson. 1 away in the 5th inning. And the day is done for Malachi Witherspoon. Sooners will have to go with the bullpen the rest of this one. And Bo Sampson, the sophomore, will get things started when we return to normal. What'd you think of his outing, Rich?
I thought it was okay. You know, it was up and down, and obviously the air is what hurt him the most. His breaking ball was pretty sharp the last inning and a half, but I thought he was pretty good. You know, to get through, almost get through 4 or almost 5. You know, 4 1/3, and I think he was pretty sharp. But like I said, that air is what was costly.
So Bo Sampson, St. George, Utah native, and came through Salt Lake Community College. Just his 4th appearance. His longest outing is 2 innings. And he's pitched just 3 2/3 innings total this year. In fact, the last time he was out was midweek game against Louisiana Tech when he went an inning and a third. But he's only given 1 earned run. And you wonder the strategy with Oklahoma losing the DH with the injury to Mudler. And that spot in the lineup where Scott Mudler was as the catcher coming up, that's got to play into things a little bit. Nolan Stevens is 2 for 2 today. Singled in the 2nd and the 3rd. Sullivan and Hines with back-to-back hits and no swing, says third base umpire Jordan Farrell. Two balls, 2 strikes now. Nolan Stevens is 2 for 7 on the weekend. Sophomore from Elk Grove, California, and his brother Grant. He's a pitcher at Oklahoma who has medically retired. 3-2 as that one just missed. There's Grant out there. He's kind of like a bullpen coach for Skip Johnson and the Sooners. And ball 4 loads the bases with 1 away. Stevens has been on base all 3 times he's come to the plate. Sullivan goes to 3rd and Hines advances to 2nd.
Got back in the Bulldogs, second baseman number 49, Declan Sanders.
Five, 6, and 7 in the lineup have combined to come to the plate 8 times today, and they've only been retired once. Between Hines and Stevens and this man, Gatlin Sanders, who has a single and a walk. 0-2 to Gatlin Sanders, making his first start of the weekend here this afternoon. Bo Sampson trying to get Sanders to chase one.
Yeah, pretty good breaking ball right there after 2 good fastballs. Feels like this is a pretty big at bat right here.
Bases loaded and 1 down, top of the 5th inning. Fought down the left field line and foul. Most pressure situation that Bo Sampson has been in this year, and he gets a ground ball to Branch to Willis for 1, and the Sooners roll it over. Their 17th double play of the year. So out of the bullpen, Bo Sampson throws a double play, and Mississippi State leaves them loaded in the 5th inning. We are halfway through this rubber game in Norman. 3-2 Bulldogs on top on SEC Network Plus.
Welcome back to the broadcast. It is the bottom of the 5th. The Sooners are down 3-2. Just saw Reggie Willits.
Leadoff at bat here.
Got it.
Sam Christensen drills one to right center field and gone, and this game is tied. So Sam Christensen swinging at the first pitch in the bottom of the 5th inning. And he nails his 3rd home run of the season to make it a 3-3 ball game. Only the 2nd hit of the game for the Sooners. And that's after Carson Ligon looked like he had it on cruise control. He had retired 6 batters in a row prior to that.
Yeah, 6 in a row prior, and that ball was middle. He just ambushed him. That ball. Yeah, he hit that so good.
That's Oklahoma's 3rd home run of the weekend. And Sam Christensen has his 3rd hit. He has driven in his 2nd run. Now we wondered who would bat in this spot where Scott Mudler had to leave with injury. It will be Christian Hoffman, Jr. from Albuquerque, New Mexico, transfer from New Mexico Junior College. Big, strong, physical, left-handed hitter. Hits this one in the air to the left fielder, Reed Stallman. 1 down in the 5th. These two teams continue to play back and forth close ball games. We had a 1-run game, a 2-run game, and now we've got a tie ball game. And here's Dawson Willis, who has been a big part of the proceedings. Willis hit the game-winning home run in the 8th inning yesterday. Walked and scored earlier today back in the 2nd. And 0-2. So Ligon settles down after giving up the leadoff home run to Sam Christensen. A ball and 2 strikes. And Ligon had kind of found a groove. He had back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. And then Christensen probably just sitting dead red on the first pitch. As that pitch is dropped, the 3rd strike by Powell, but he throws down to Hunter Hines, and it's a strikeout of Dawson Willis for out number 2. Five strikeouts for Carson Ligon. And back to the top of the Oklahoma batting lineup here for Jason Walk, who is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Walk gets your attention when he squares to bunt. He means it because he has the ability to do that. Takes a strike there, and it's 2-1. Ligon working quickly. Right back with strike 2 at the belt. Off the end of the bat, rolled towards Sanders. And there's out number 3, but a leadoff solo home run by Sam Christensen has tied this game at 3 apiece. We are through 5. It's the rubber game. You're not going anywhere because it's been great all weekend long. Down to the wire we go. Sam Christensen has made it a tie ball game, blasting this one to right center field. His 3rd home run of the season, and we are tied at 3.
There are hundreds of banks out there.
This game tied at 3. Oklahoma sophomore right-hander Jason Bowden makes his 3rd appearance in as many games in this series. The Texas A&M transfer, hard-throwing 6'3", 193-pounder out of Orange, Texas, as he pitched 2 innings on Friday night, scoreless, and then gave up 2 hits and a walk yesterday in an inning, but didn't give up a run. And so he's going to go 3 for 3. And this is his SEC leading 13th appearance of the season. Over the inner half, and strike 1. Joe Powell, 2 strikeouts. 1 in the second, 1 in the third. 1 for 8 on the weekend is the catcher for the Bulldogs. Back-to-back right-handers here in the lineup for Mississippi State. So Skip Johnson's turn to a right-hander on the mound. 1-2. When you lose the DH early in the game, you really have to manipulate and maneuver things.
Yeah, because they're not going to let a pitcher hit, so they're going to, every time that spot comes up, they're going to have to pinch hit and change pitchers.
2-2 now. And a full count here to Joe Powell. There is Scott Mudler. Right arm in a sling after a headfirst dive at second base. And strike 3 called.
Good pitch, hard slider. Just froze Powell. You see it right here. Just nasty on the outer third.
Is that the bread and butter for Jason Bowden?
I think so. When he has that pitch working, his fastball's 95. He's going to be very difficult to hit.
That's the baked potato, and then you got the steak to go along with it. The bread and butter has been that curveball. That one misses up and in to Dylan Cupp. Now I'm getting hungry.
Right. Anytime someone says steak, I get hungry.
Still a lot of meat left on the bone in this game. Tied at 3. Dylan Cupp got hit by a pitch and scored a run in the third. He's also flied out to the left fielder Trey Gamble. 1 out of 8 with 2 runs scored in the 3-game set this weekend. Fouled that one off of himself. Came back up and got him.
Yeah, not a very good spot either.
It was not. Not that there are any good ones.
Yeah, true story.
There's the 1-2. It's one thing to first you got to be reliable coming out of the bullpen. You got to earn some time, and then can you be durable? And 3 games in 3 days is pretty durable.
Yeah, no, it's hard to find guys with that kind of bounce back.
Fly ball toward shallow center. Wynn's going to knock this one down. It'll be the second baseman Branch to take care of it in very shallow right center field. 2 gone.
Yeah, off the bat, I thought that might be a no man's land. Like you said, the wind knocked it down. Branch able to camp underneath it. Like you said about Bowden, I mean, these kind of guys are so valuable to a staff. You know, especially as tough as the SEC is, if you can get a guy that can pitch, 4, 5, 6 innings out of the bullpen on a weekend, that's huge.
Man, that's like almost like having that good starter. As you say that, and Stallman gets hit by the pitch by Bowden with 2 outs here.
Yeah, we talk him up and he grills somebody. Yeah, like you said, in that many innings is almost like having a 4th starter.
Now back to the Bulldogs, center fielder number 38, Bryce Chance.
That ball just got away from him.
Started it in, and it broke in right off the thigh of Reed Stallman, who was aboard for the 2nd time in this game. Stallman was safe on an error and scored a run in the 3rd. And now Bryce Chance, as the Bulldogs move to the heart of their lineup. Chance, the number 2 batter, but 0 for 2 with a sacrifice today. Hit a couple of ground balls to short. Bowden kind of slipped there.
Kinda went to the ground there on that pickoff.
Unfazed by it. A strike from Jason Bowden. And 1-1, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Sooners starter Malachi Witherspoon lasted 4 1/3 innings today. Gave up the 3 runs on 7 hits. But his offense has gotten this one tied, so he's off the hook. This one shot into right center, but Walt gets to show off his wheels and chase that one down before it hit the alley. Inning over after Stallman was hit by a pitch. He's left stranded out there. Bottom of the 6th inning coming your way from L. Dale Mitchell Park in Norman. And the Sooners and Bulldogs tied at 3. Lincoln, he is about to have his longest appearance of the year. His prior long was 5 innings against Queens in picking up a win there, but he pitches here into the 6th. You see 89 pitches. He's got a 2-hitter going. 3 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. And Sam Christensen's solo home run, by far the hardest that he's been hit today. Trey Gamble leads off for Oklahoma here in the 6th inning. Gamble 0 for 2 with a fly ball to right and a fly ball to left so far. Ropes this one into right field for a leadoff single. Does Trey Gamble, and it's misplayed by Stevens out there. Gamble is into second base. Base hit and then an error. And Oklahoma has the go-ahead run at second base.
Good piece of hitting by Gamble. And that ball's just down the middle. And like you said, Stevens just kind of nonchalant. And ball goes off his glove. Back to the wall. Allows Gamble to get to second.
So that'll be the first error of the game against the Bulldogs. It puts the lead run in scoring position. And here's Easton Carmichael. He drove in the first Sooner run with the ground ball on the infield. That was back in the 1st. Sooner fans didn't like that call. That was yesterday with the 5 errors for the first time in 14 seasons. It was tough, and you really could have charged a 6th, as we talked about earlier. Rolled into right, base hit. Here comes Gamble charging for the plate. Stevens up with it. The throw is not in time, and Easton Carmichael has delivered once again for Oklahoma. He's driven in 2 of the 4 and has driven in 3 this weekend.
Yeah, just a great hitter. Good job, filling that, hitting that hole on the right side. Carmichael's definitely a clutch hitter.
So 4-3, Oklahoma surges back on top. And now we will see how much longer Ligon is able to go. He's given up 2 hits in this inning. And as we mentioned, his longest outing, 5 innings against Queens. So this would be 5+. Justin Parker, the pitching coach, is out for the Bulldogs, and he signals for a right-hander to come from the bullpen. The day is done for Carson Ligon. He will leave trailing 4-3. This game belongs to the bullpens the rest of the way, as was the case yesterday. In from the pen comes Jacob Pruitt. We'll tell you about him. It seemed like Richie had it on cruise control.
Yeah.
And the home run by Sam Christensen to start the 5th.
Yeah, 3rd and 4th inning, 3 up, 3 down, both innings. And like I said, Christensen ambushed him to lead off the 5th inning, kind of went downhill a little bit from there.
So here is Jacob Pruitt, the junior from Yorktown, Indiana, transferred from Indiana State, where he spent 2 seasons. Jackson Willits 0 for 1 with a walk today at the plate for the Sooners. Can be a high strikeout guy. He had a game against Troy back in late February where he struck out 9 in 4 innings of work. But 2-0 here to Jackson Willits.
And he's going to need to be careful here with Willits' power.
Willits homered yesterday, leads Oklahoma with 7 on the season. And 2-1 now. Three balls and a strike. Jackson Willits, after walking in the first, the next hitter at the plate was Dayton Taki, and he's a left-handed batter. He got 2 strikes on him. Mississippi State shifted to 3 infielders on the right side of the infield, and Jackson Willits, with a delayed steal from first base, stole second, ran right through second and over to third, because there was nobody on that side of the infield other than at the time the shortstop, Dylan Cupp, but he couldn't beat Willits back to the bag. And here Willits delivers a base hit to right. Easton Carmichael will stop at second base. Handled cleanly by Stevens in right, but it's 3 straight hits in the 6th inning for Oklahoma.
Yeah, another good. You say you can't fall behind good hitters and expect, to get many outs. He falls behind Willits and he ends up getting a base hit. The ball hit too hard for Carmichael to get to third.
And now a big opportunity here for Dayton Taki with nobody out. Reese edges in a little bit at third base, and bunt is shown.
First baseman's playing deep. This may be one in the situation you always want to bunt it to third, but if he's going to bunt, you can bunt it to first and maybe get on.
Down and in and hit him. Clipped him on the shoe, it looked like, and the bases are loaded.
Kind of act like he's a little mad about it.
Yeah, he did.
Heck, that's good. You'd rather have that than give up an out to get back guys in scoring position. I know it hit him on top of the foot and it hurts, but that's just part of it.
So bases loaded, nobody out, a run home, and here's Kyle Branch.
This is a huge at bat for Branch.
Branch 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts against Ligon today. And ball 1 misses inside from Pruitt. Now Branch with 1 hit this weekend. He's stolen 3 bases. There's a strike. This is that part, you know, you get into the grind of conference play, and you're a freshman going through this for the first time, Rich, and having to battle through it. You went through it.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't think he's phased. I think he's just, by now, he's settled in and just going the way he's going to go. And offensively, he's been a huge surprise.
1-1 fouled off, and a ball and 2 strikes.
I mean, we knew how good he was going to be defensively, but his offense has only added to his prowess, even though he's a freshman.
Easton Carmichael has the go-ahead base hit in the inning. He's at third. Willits at second. Taki down at first. And another foul ball.
Yeah, just foul something off till you get something you can handle.
Also becomes interesting here, as you talked about, because Oklahoma with nobody out, and in the hole is that spot in the lineup again, where Oklahoma's going to have to make a choice who they send to the plate. Two and two now. Sooners 2 for 5 with men in scoring position. Bouncing ball to the second baseman Sanders. He'll flip it to Cup. They'll get the out at second base, but Carmichael comes in to score. So it's 1 away and a run across there. Carmichael has now driven in a run and scored a run in this inning. And Oklahoma's lead is 2 at 5-3 on an RBI ground ball by Kyle Branch.
Yeah, fortunate that was hit soft enough they couldn't turn the double play.
So just the force play out there as Willits is cut down. Beg your pardon, Taki is cut down and Willits is down to third. And here's Christensen, who homered leading off the 5th.
And Branch had a couple stolen bases yesterday. See if they maybe try to steal second and stay out of the double play.
And Branch was 3 for 3 in the stolen base department yesterday. He's at first. And a really close play. In fact, so close Hunter Hines is saying you should take a look at it.
Mississippi State is challenging the safe call at first base.
He believes he got the tag on Branch before he got back to the bag.
I don't know. Pretty close.
He made the signal quickly.
Yeah. But it looked like it was kind of simultaneous tag and on the base.
They have the 6 stationary Hawkeye cameras at play in all of the SEC stadiums. The Bulldogs have 2 challenges still remaining. They challenged earlier in this game and won that one, so you hang on to that challenge. So as the review takes place, Hines felt like he got it. I don't know that the
See it from the other angle, like from home plate.
Yeah, the one that we saw does not tell you, and that's the case on occasion, Rich, is sometimes a player feels like, yeah, challenge it, we got it, and there's just not an angle that's conclusive.
Right.
Even with all the cameras.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that one is conclusive. You just can't see when the tag happens, can you?
No, it looks, yeah, to me it looks like it's simultaneous. It's a shoulder and the hand on the same time. At least from this angle. It's close. He might be out. Right there. His foot's in the way.
There's Hawkeye down the line. And you got to kind of time it up.
You can't see his hand. That's the problem.
That's about as close as you can see, and you still can't see.
It's not definite, but he might be out.
After review, the runner is safe at first base. Mississippi State has one challenge remaining.
So Chris Lemonis,
Yeah, like you said,
down a challenge, and I just don't
the call
think
on the field being safe, and there's nothing definite.
all the cameras and technology,
Still can't figure it out.
and we still can't figure it out. Fastball for a strike there from Pruitt. Sam Christensen solo home run back in the 5th, his 3rd of the year. Struck out back in the 2nd. Both of them coming against the starter Carson Ligon. Easton Carmichael, the go-ahead RBI single in the inning. And then Kyle Branch, ground ball, fielder's choice that drove in another run. 3-1 is the count. And in the on-deck circle for the Sooners, it looks like Braden Horton will bat. He will be the 3rd guy to bat in this spot. He'll be the 4th guy to occupy it when you count the pinch runner, Gavin Jones, who scored a run. Another close play over there, first base. There's Horton, ready to go. And I suppose that could change if Mississippi State were to make a pitching change prior to that. There's ball 4 to load him up. 25 walks drawn this year by Sam Christensen. That's top 3 in the SEC.
Now batting for the Sooners, number 28, Braden Horton.
And so here's Braden Horton. So we saw Christian Hoffman pinch hit in this spot. Remember Scott Mudler, who started as the catcher, he walked and then got injured on a headfirst dive at second base. We saw Gavin Jones run for him and eventually score a run in the 2nd. And then Christian Hoffman hit in this spot and flied out to left in the 5th inning. And now it is Braden Horton who occupies the number 8 position for the Sooners in the order. Bases loaded, 1 away and 2 runs in. Braden Horton, just his 8th official at bat of the year. He scored a couple of runs, and he has 1 base hit this year. Big spot for him. And down in the count 0-2 against Pruitt. Pulled to first, a fair ball picked up by Hines. Head first dive and out at first base is Horton. But a run races in as Jackson Willits scores on that ground ball on the infield, and Oklahoma takes a 6-3 lead. Mission accomplished by Horton. He drives in a run.
Yeah, good job. You know, first baseman playing deep. He wasn't going to be able to turn it either way. But I'm sure that Reggie's happy with that, at least getting 1 more out of this.
So 2 ground balls on the infield producing runs here. Willis, a ground ball to the second baseman Sanders, and the inning is over. But Oklahoma has retaken the lead. They push across 3 runs on 3 hits. 6-3 Oklahoma, moving to the 7th on SEC Network. It's the 4th Oklahoma pitcher of the day. It is the freshman lefty Jaden Barfield. He's become a very effective, consistent performer. Freshman out of Pearland, Texas, 5'9", 215 pounds. Oklahoma with a 6-3 advantage, trying to take the rubber game of this 3-game series. Bulldogs won the pitchers duel on Friday night. Sooners a slugfest yesterday. And Rich, as you predicted, this one's somewhere in between those two games for now.
Yeah, for now, yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see what Barfield can do here. If he can, kind of slow things down with the Bulldogs.
Been kind of that situational left-hander. You see, he has more appearances than innings pitched. Does this lefty, but he has been good when called upon. Just doesn't flinch very much, and he's a strike thrower.
Yeah, he does throw a lot of strikes. I'm sure Skip would like to see him get, maybe 2 innings. But if he can eat up this one, it may be Crooks in the 8th.
It could be Dylan Crooks, who is the SEC saves leader for Skip Johnson. He's got 6 of them, but he's got wins the last 2 times he's gone out. In fact, Dylan Crooks was the winning pitcher yesterday as Oklahoma rallied for the victory. And Crooks was also the winner back on last Sunday in the series finale against South Carolina. But the big bat of Ace Reese greets Barfield to start the 7th inning. 2 home runs yesterday and a 2-run double today. He's driven in 7 runs this weekend for the Bulldogs. Past Barfield, but Willits is there behind the bag, and Ace Reese is retired. Reese is 1 for 4 today. Man, he just hits the ball hard every time he swings, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's a good play by Willits going up the middle. And that's one of those ones, the pitcher's instincts to try to catch it, and sometimes it'll tip off the glove and slow it down, and they end up getting an infield hit. Pitcher's got to try to just let those go.
Here's Noah Sullivan. Puts a charge into this one to straightaway center field, but plenty of room to roam for walk. 2 gone.
Wrong day for that one. He hit that ball good. Wind's just blowing the other way.
Now back for the Bulldogs, first baseman number 44, Hunter Hines.
So the bases are empty and 2 gone now for Hunter Hines. Hines has got a couple of base hits and a run driven in today. 6 hits in the 3-game series. Oklahoma shifting. The shifts are a little different, as we've talked about, for different teams based upon your comfortability. But Oklahoma chooses to just squeeze the second baseman Branch over into the middle of the shift and bring the shortstop Willits around. And Mississippi State's shift is different. They pulled the 3rd baseman Reese from 3rd into the middle of the shift.
Yeah. Like I said, it depends on your personnel and how comfortable you are and who you want left on that left side of the infield.
1-2 on Hunter Hines. He did not go around. They appeal down to 3rd base. Jordan Farrell says no swing. Lifted into center and left center. Back goes Walk, and he puts away the final 2 outs in the 7th inning. Jake Barfield works a 1-2-3 inning out of the Sooner bullpen to hold things where they are at the 7th inning stretch. It's Oklahoma 6 and Mississippi State 3. 7th inning stretch time in Norman with Oklahoma on top of Mississippi State 6-3. Game 3 of this series, with the 2 teams having split the prior 2 meetings. And Oklahoma has the top of the order. Jason Walk coming to the plate. And Carly's got a little more on the Sooners' speedy center fielder.
Before the season started, Skip Johnson gave his team bracelets that say compete every day. The position players have yellow while the pitchers have red. Well, ever since they got them, Oklahoma's adapted to the mentality that you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back on your preparation. Competing every day is the scouting report. That's the preparation that they need. Just great leadership from Skip Johnson. If you know him, you know he really focuses on the mental side of the game with his players, guys.
Thank you, Carly. Without question, and it's a consistent approach. Compete every day, let the outcome take care of itself, and you focus on the process. So if the pitchers get red and the position players get yellow, what if you're a two-way player?
You get both.
Okay, fair enough.
You get to wear the extra bling.
Depends on whether you're hitting or pitching. You got to make that switch.
You got to switch it, yeah.
3-2 here to walk. Looking for his first hit of the day. He did walk, steal a base, I should say, and score in the first. Swing and a miss, drop third strike. Powell will pick it up. And a strikeout starts the 7th. That's Russell Raley wearing the wristband there. Compete every day. Walk is out to start the 7th. That'll bring in Trey Gamble, who's 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. Pruitt, good solid fastball in the low 90s. Trey Gamble flied to right in the first inning, flied to left in the third, and then singled and scored in the 6th. Oklahoma had a 1-0 lead, an RBI ground out by Carmichael. Then Willis, RBI single in the 2nd, gave the Sooners a 2-0 lead. Ace Reese tied this game for Mississippi State in the 3rd with a 2-run double. They took the lead on Hunter Hines' RBI base hit later in that 3rd. But Sam Christensen tied it with a solo home run for the Sooners in the 5th. And then Oklahoma pushing across 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. As this one is fouled toward the third baseman, Reese. 2 gone. Trey Gamble pops up. The go-ahead run driven in by Easton Carmichael in the 6th inning for the Sooners. And here he is once again. He's driven in 2 of the 6 runs, and he has scored 1. Pruitt's been able to live on the inner half to a lot of these guys. And Carmichael's got his 2nd hit. About the same place where he drove in the go-ahead run back in the 6th inning.
Yeah, right in that 4-hole. He smoked that ball.
So the inning is still alive for Jackson Willits. Willits a base hit back in the 6th, 1 for 2 today with a walk as well. And Oklahoma looking to pad the lead with 2 outs here in the 7th. Jackson Willits batting .330 with a home run this weekend, giving him 7 on the year. Yeah, we'll see if maybe Carmichael is on the move here.
Yeah. Try to get him in scoring position.
He's 4 out of 6 in the stolen base department this year. One and two now to Jackson Willits. There goes Carmichael, and the pitch up and in. One hop throw skitters into center field, and Carmichael's on the move to third. And Bryce Chance will have no chance to throw him out. Stolen base and a throwing error. And Oklahoma with another run 90 feet away. That pressure put on by this Sooner offense.
Yeah, and as a shortstop there, you got to just block the ball. You know, you're not going to get the out. That's second. You just got to block and keep it on the infield.
That's 4 stolen bases today and 12 in the last 2 games. Full count now on Willits. This feels like a dangerous pitch, and Pruitt probably has to be careful with Willits.
Carmichael's way down the line.
Willits blasts this one deep right center field. Stevens back to the track. He leaps and pulls it in. Nolan Stevens robbing extra bases from Jackson Willits and keeping this game right where it is. 6-3. Oklahoma leads it, headed to the 8th on SEC Network Plus. Got Tennessee taking the series with Alabama 2-1. Texas A&M sweeping, or Vanderbilt I should say, sweeping Texas A&M 3-0. Man, you can get hard and in a hurry when you get into conference play. And Florida, a team that was cruising right along, now 0-6 to start league action potentially. Jayden Barfield back out for Oklahoma. Worked a 1-2-3 7th out of the bullpen and goes to work against Nolan Stevens, who's got 2 hits and a walk today. Two and 1 the count. 11 of the top 25 teams in the country in the SEC, 8 of the top 10, and 4 of the top 5 coming in. It may not stay this way as they just kind of victimize one another. And that's going to be a strike, as they say that the hitter Stevens was not in the box and ready to go in conjunction with the pitch clock. So it's now 1-2 on him. And he's angry, lines that one foul. Hard hack at that one. High chopper, Barfield. The underhanded toss over there to Taki to get the first out. 4 up and 4 down for Jayden Barfield. How's he been so effective?
He's been good. He's been locating his fastball and getting ahead in the count and able to get guys off, off balance. I mean, he got a ground ball to short and a couple fly balls last inning. Just attacking the zone.
Gatlin Sanders. Sanders had a base hit in the second and a walk in the third. Then he hit into a double play in the 5th inning. And that was with the bases loaded. And the Bulldogs had a chance there, but the inning-ending 4-6-3 double play finished it. One and 1 to Sanders. Barfield, parents capturing the moment. Their freshman left-hander. Our cameras are good at finding mom and dad, aren't they?
Yeah.
You better be ready to go, because you could appear. Oh, that's Carly who's got the good eye for mom and dad. Barfield just misses away here to Gatlin Sanders. There's still activity out in the Oklahoma bullpen. Full count now. Bulldogs just need a base runner.
Yeah, they just need something to get something going. Get a little traffic, see if they can cause some damage.
One hopper off of the glove of Willits, and out into left field it goes. It caught him down around the shoe tops, and Sanders is aboard.
That ball's hit hard. Tough play. That's a play you should make. He knew it right there.
So Sanders credit for a base hit there, his second of the day. And with one away, it'll be a pinch hitter coming for Powell. And Sawyer Reeves, who's had a good series. He's 5 out of 8, but not in the starting lineup today. 2 doubles for Sawyer Reeves. And now Skip Johnson may go to his bullpen for a right-hander. May, in fact, go to the closer, Crooks, with 1 away here in the 8th inning, trying to finish this thing off. So good appearance, though, for Jaden Barfield. He gets 4 outs and a ground ball that resulted in a base hit. And indeed, here comes the Sooner closer, Dylan Crooks, who got the win in yesterday's game.
Also, with the pinch hitter Reeves being right-handed, he's not going to mess around. Just going to go straight to Crooks and see if he can close this game out.
So Sawyer Reeves pinch hitting for Powell in the number 8 spot. Crooks comes out of the bullpen. But another effective outing for the freshman Jaden Barfield. Sawyer Reeves, mentioned before the break, what a good weekend he's had. 2 doubles, 5 out of 8 at the plate. Transfer from the Citadel. Spent 3 seasons there. This is his first at Mississippi State. Gatlin Sanders with the base hit a moment ago. And the tying run on deck here for the Bulldogs. Popped up. Shallow right field, and the second baseman, Branch, out to take care of that one. Wind blowing it toward the right field line as it got up above the stadium roof. 2 gone.
Yeah, that ball was hit high. It's a tough play. You got to keep your feet moving, stay under it. Branch does a good job of reeling that in.
What is the book on Dylan Crooks? What's made him so dependable and effective for
He works quick. He throws strikes, and his breaking ball is consistently for strikes. He can get guys. His control's good. He can get guys to chase barely off the plate, but he's got the stuff.
Bulldogs will pinch hit here. Garrick Fry in the number 9 spot for Dylan Cupp. And Fry pinch hit as well in yesterday's game. Went 0 for 1. Fry's a transfer from North Alabama. Spent 2 seasons there. And hit 15 home runs there a season ago. Ground ball to Branch. Inning over. Job done by Dylan Crooks, as has been typical. With a man aboard, he retires the final 2 hitters in the 8th inning and preserves Oklahoma's 6-3 lead headed to the last of the 8th inning. The left-hander Dane Burns, 6'5", 210. He's a freshman out of Salina, Texas, Prosper High School. catcher is Steven Spaletta as well. So an all-new battery for Mississippi State.
Now batting for the Sooners, first baseman, number 16, Dayton Taki.
And Dayton Taki set to step to the plate for Oklahoma. Taki 0 for 2. Was hit by a pitch in the 6th. There is Steven Spaletta. Nasty looking pitch there from Dane Burns. Dane Burns was drafted this past summer, 17th round by the Kansas City Royals, but elected to become a Bulldog. It was 1-2 to Taki. Tad bit outside. Oklahoma has 10 come from behind wins this season. This would be number 11. That one swung on and missed. Taki's going to sprint down. It's a low throw by the new catcher Spaletta, and a near collision between Hunter Hines and Dayton Taki at first base. It's ruled it out, and Taki's going to stay on the bag. Oklahoma has 2 reviews still available.
You know, that's one of the ones where the first baseman can use the green bag, and that ball's in foul territory on the first base side.
Yep. And so Taki's going to go ahead and jog back to the dugout, having been retired on strikeout. And now Skip Johnson coming out to just talk with Eric Gaucher, the plate umpire. And as you said, Rich, the green bag is supposed to belong to the base runner unless there's a situation like that where there's a ball that's over in foul territory and the catcher's got to make a throw.
Yeah, you see it get away from him. He bounced that ball in there. Good job by the first baseman picking it off the turf.
I said it was a near collision. That was a collision, just not a hard one.
Right.
Between those 2 big bodies. Here's Kyle Branch. Drove in a run with a ground out to the second baseman Sanders in the 6th. And has an extra base hit here. Into the left field foul corner. It bounces off the wall down there, and Stallman had a little bit of trouble coming up with it because of the bounce. A 1-out double for Kyle Branch is his first hit of the day.
Yeah, just middle in, he turns on it, barely keeps it fair. That was only about a foot inside the bag.
It is 6 doubles for the freshman second baseman. Here's Sam Christensen, who homered in the 5th.
Branch was looking to go on that, but Burns held the ball long enough where he ended up stopping.
Harder for those lefties to make an effective pickoff throw to second. Branch is 9 for 9 in the stolen base department this year. Sam Christensen, in addition to his home run, has walked and struck out today. And And he's ahead in the count 3-0 against Burns. Green light there for the man who homered in the 5th. There goes Branch, and ball 4 is inside. It'll be a stolen base for Kyle Branch and a walk to Sam Christensen, who's walked for the 2nd time today. And Branch now 26 walks on the year.
Yeah, he just got a good jump. Pitch is in the dirt. No chance to make a throw on that.
Yep. The new catcher Spoletta, and now Dylan Crooks has to hit in this spot. So we told you the Sooners lost their DH when Mudler was injured.
Yeah, and if he doesn't hit, they got to put somebody else in on the mound. Assuming he'll be taking a few pitches.
You know, I'm not sure he has a batting helmet, so he's got Cole Hansen's batting helmet on. 39 up top, 43 on the jersey.
Right.
Well, if he swings it like his brother Jimmy, this could get interesting, right? Jimmy Crooks was on Oklahoma's national runner-up team in 2022, and now he's been up and down a little bit with the St. Louis Cardinals. And with all this going on, a visit from pitching coach Justin Parker out of the Mississippi State dugout to just kind of get things straight and corrected with Burns. Got a strikeout to start the inning, but he's given up a double and a walk. And this is going to be the 4th man to bat in this spot for Oklahoma, Dylan Crooks.
He's got a decent stance.
And he bunts one.
Wow.
Nobody able to get the play at home. Sliding in safely with run number 7 comes Branch. So we're obligated to say the pitcher helps his own cause by driving in a run, but that's exactly what Dylan Crooks has done. He gives the Sooners a 7-3 lead with the perfect sacrifice.
Now batting for the Sooners, third baseman number 5, Dawson Willis.
And now 2 down for Dawson Willis. Sam Christensen is second as Kyle Branch scores the 7th Oklahoma run. So Branch with a double and a run scored in this inning. 7-3 Oklahoma lead. And this Oklahoma offense now, that's 3 runs that have scored on ground balls on the infield, Rich.
Yeah, and it's just good situational hitting. You know, you can score a run with a productive out. You trade outs for runs every time.
0-2 here on Dawson Willis. Carly's got a little bit more down there by the Oklahoma dugout.
Yeah, Chad, in between innings, or not in between innings, but right before Dylan went up to the bat, I ran up to Mrs. Crooks and I said, "Can he hit?" She was like, "Yeah, he can." And then, you know, he just got the bunt and he came back down in the dugout and said, "Fellas, that's how you bunt. That's how you do it." A little bit of a teaching lesson to his teammates.
It was good technique.
Yeah, it was perfect bunt.
Willis is 1 for 3. A base hit for him back in the 2nd. And out on strikes for the final out, but Oklahoma pads the lead. It's a run on a hit and a squeeze bunt by Dylan Crooks, who will come out to try to finish the job and get Oklahoma a series win. Oklahoma an extra run in the bottom of the 8th inning. He'll go out and try to get a save here. 7-3. You see the summary. A couple of hits this afternoon for Hunter Hines, who's had a good series. He's got 6 hits, does Hines. A 2-run double by Ace Reese. Oklahoma's heroes Easton Carmichael, who's driven in a pair, including what was the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 6th inning. And a home run for Sam Christensen of Oklahoma. Dylan Crooks got the final 2 outs in the 8th inning. Got a pop-up of Sawyer Reeves and a ground out from Garrick Fry. He goes to work against the leadoff man, Reed Stallman. This game hits the 3-hour mark. Reed Stallman without a base hit today, but he's been on base twice and scored a run. Lifted toward right field. Sam Christensen back near the warning track and shading his eyes. Wind just blowing that one toward the right field foul corner. But it really doesn't help you on a ball hit to right field.
Yeah, not a lot. That's for sure. Especially, I mean, he just missed that ball. That ball was sky high, but you're going to have to get a lot of backspin on it for the wind to do anything.
Bryce Chance, the batter. He is 0 for 3 with a sacrifice today. 4 out of 12 in the weekend series. It's Chance and Dylan Crooks with a strike. One and one. Once again, Oklahoma will be at Alabama for conference play beginning on Friday, and Mississippi State will have LSU on the road in Baton Rouge. And that series begins on Thursday. The Bulldogs have a midweek game at home against Samford. Oklahoma has a midweek game on Tuesday at Oral Roberts. Swing and a miss. And Dylan Crooks is 1 out away from a win yesterday and a save today, which would be his 7th. Ace Reese with the Sooners putting the shift on. Reese had a 2-run double in the 3rd that tied the game. He hit 2 home runs yesterday. That was the 7th strikeout for Oklahoma pitching today. Is downstairs. We had 27 combined strikeouts on Friday.
Yeah, that was a pleasure to watch both those guys throw.
Pico Khan of Mississippi State, Kyson Witherspoon of Oklahoma. 1-2. Crowd rising to their feet at L. Dale Mitchell Park, Oklahoma, looking for a series victory in their first ever SEC home series. Upstairs, 2-2. Reese 1 out of 4 today. He's driven in 7 runs this weekend. Pulled toward first, and a foul ball. We'll do it all over again on 2-2. Reese not going to go down quietly. Dylan Crooks, an inning and a 3rd, picking up the win yesterday. This would be an inning and 2/3 and a save situation for him. He came in with a man aboard in a 2-run game back in the 8th inning. He got 2 outs there and 2 outs so far here in the 9th. He's retired all 4 men that he has faced today. And there's strike 3 called. Oklahoma wins it. Dylan Crooks drives in a run. He gets a win and a save in the series, and Oklahoma takes 2 out of 3 at home in the first ever SEC series at L. Dale Mitchell Park. Rich, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was a great game. You know, even hitting, but the Sooners came up with more situational at bats to score runs, and really the bullpen for OU was really good. You know, Bowden with his third appearance.